We may be in the market now, but it's time for us to talk about the Indonesian stock market and financial market. Now, let's talk about Indonesian stock market in 2025. It has demonstrated solid recovery with the Jakarta Composite Index breaking the 8,000 psychological barrier for the first time in July before closing the year with about 19% gains. However, the Indonesian rupiah has experienced moderate depreciation throughout 2025 amid the surge in the US dollar in global financial markets. So now let's take a look at the highlights of the year 2025 year-end report on financial market performances. Bank Indonesia recorded continued positive performance in digital economic and financial transactions in the third quarter in 2025, driven by the increasingly widespread and reliable adoption of digital payment systems. Bank Indonesia Governor Peri Warjio said that the volume of digital payment transactions during that period reached 12.99 billion transactions, marking a 38.08% year-on-year growth. The central bank governor said the growth was also evident in mobile app-based and internet-based payment channels, which increased by 13.11% year-on-year and 17.80% year-on-year respectively. Meanwhile, KRIS transactions surged significantly by 147.65%, reflecting the growing number of the users and merchants. The volume of retail transactions via BI Fast reached 1.22 billion transactions, growing 32.34% year-on-year, with a transaction value of 3,024 trillion rupiah in the third quarter of 2025. Bank Indonesia Governor Peri Warjio said recently the central bank is in talks to extend similar cooperation with China, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and India as part of its efforts to strengthen regional payment connectivity and accelerate the country's digital economic transformation. Before Japan and the ongoing trial with China, Indonesia had already connected its QR payment system with Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore, allowing Indonesian travelers to make cashless transactions abroad by simply scanning a QR code on their mobile devices. A trial to connect KRIS with China's QR payment network is currently underway and is expected to be fully operational by the end of this year. Indonesia has also begun pilot tests with South Korea, aiming for full implementation by 2026. The Indonesian Stock Exchange IDX began the year with a little optimism, but conditions changed in the following months, putting the market on a pathway toward one of its best years, with the main index rising nearly 20% in November 15. This year is quite special. The IDX made history on Friday, August 15, 2025, when the main price indicator, the Jakarta Composite Index, passed the 8,000 mark for the first time in history. The index has continued to increase since then, reaching 8,645, a 20 increase since the start of the year. The Indonesian stock market has rapidly transformed into one of the major stock markets in Asia since its establishment in November 2007. As many as 955 companies are traded in the stock market at present, with a market capitalization of 15,234 trillion rupiah. The Indonesian rupiah began the year with a strong performance against the US dollars in January, but declined amid headwinds resulting from global trade tensions and rising geopolitical risk. Opening at 16,250 rupiah against the US dollars in January, the Indonesian rupiah faced depreciation pressures in the following months after falling to its low at 16,970 against the US dollars. The Indonesian currency recorded a strong recovery with a 2.6% monthly gain in May to 16,155 rupiah, supported by Bank Indonesia interventions. From January 16,243 to November 16,700, the rupiah depreciated roughly 2.8% cumulatively, influenced by US dollar's resilience and local policy responses. By late November, it hovered near 16,634, down yearly but with monthly gains of 0.55% into December. The Indonesian rupiah is currently considered among the weakest currencies in Asia and by exchange rate value one of the weakest in the world. The Financial Services Authority recorded a slowdown in banking credit growth as of October 2025. In the 10th month of this year, credit grew 7.36% year-on-year to 8,220 trillion rupiah, or about $498 billion US dollars. In the previous months, credit or lending grew 7.7% year-on-year, while in the same period last year it rose 10.92% year-on-year. In the same period, third-party funds in banking strengthened instead. As of October 2025, the third-party funds rose 11.48% year-on-year compared to 6.74% year-on-year October last year. As a result, the loan-to-deposit ratio fell from 87.5% to 84.26%. Meanwhile, the gross non-performing loan (NPL) ratio rose 5 basis points year-on-year to 2.25%, and the net NPL rose 13 basis points to 0.9%.